record we had done actually for quite a while. We had it actually in the can for a few months, and we basically took our time with it. You know, we didn't really want to stress, and you know, usually what we do is we would rent a studio for a month or something. We would go in and, you know, bang everything out. But this time we're like, let's do this in our home studios, because, you know, we're fortunate to have our own Pro Tools setups, everybody and you know, in the band. So we kind of like did that thing, you know, we took it easy, and you know, we took our time to record everything. We wanted to feature everybody's best performances possible, you know. And I think we achieved that, you know, and we also had a different approach, a little bit of different approach on the mixing process this time, you know. We've mixed all our albums before at Fredman's studio in Sweden, but this time we moved to another studio. So, you know, we wanted a bit more of a raw sound, a bit more, you know, kind of like a stripped down, kind of like classic, you know, straight heavy metal sound, not too polished, not too, you know, compressed and all that stuff, you know. It's powerful, it has dynamics, you know, and all that. And at the same time, it's raw. You can hear it's five guys, you know, playing, like, you know, jamming, you know. That was a kind of like a, you know, the kind of vibe we wanted, you know, a bit more of a organic sound, I guess. Actually, believe it or not, we started totally like the other way around. We started with vocals on this album, yeah, because, you know, usually what we do is we have all the session files from the pre-production that we do. So we would send that to Apollo, singer, and he would do all the stuff because he's a Greek guy, but he lives in Sweden. He grew up in Sweden, so he would do all his stuff in Sweden, and then once we made sure, you know, all the vocals were there and really good, then, you know, we got the files back, and then we started recording drums, tracking drums, and then, you know, the rest, guitars, bass, keys. And so we started with the vocals, believe it or not. And then we did drums, and then we did guitars and all that stuff. So the rest was done in Greece in our home studios. And you know, we started building from the, you know, from the pre-production demos, and then we made the whatever changes we did, because usually after we do the demos, we go in the rehearsal room and we play all the songs in the rehearsal room. So then we see what kind of changes we'll make, you know, to bring it to the, you know, to the band's needs, and then we'll go back, change those files, and, you know, if we've added measures or taken out or whatever we've done, and then that will be the final that will go, you know, to the final recording. So that's the process we followed. Yeah. You know, it's very convenient, actually. It's convenient. It's you know, that's the final thing, and then, you know, you've done your part with the band. You went in there. It's not like just, you know, it was a couple of guys sitting in a computer and stuff, because me and Bob, usually the keyboard player, me and Bob, we do everything together. But you know, getting the band in also to try these songs out and make sure that we can take this on stage, you know, that's very important. And then you go back to your thing, and then you keep, you know, you kind of like, you know, you go what you would do in a normal studio. You basically record into a Pro system, which would be a session file anyways. So, and, you know, by having the luxury to be, you know, at home and doing that, you know, you don't have the stress of, oh, I got 2 more days to finish guitars. Oh, you know, it's like, and, you know, there's never enough time, really, you know. You know, it ends when it ends, I guess. And you have to decide when that ends, you know. Obviously, you don't want to have you know, be recording for a year or something. But at the same time, it's not cool to have that stress and, you know, thinking like, I could have gotten that a bit better, you know. With that said, I'm always the fastest guy to finish recordings. I did everything in about 7 or 8 days. Yeah. Everything, like all rhythms, all leads, all clean acoustic parts. But by that time, I'm also very prepared, because I've already recorded it once on the pre-production. I went back, changed stuff. So it's just a matter of recording it again, like clearly and stuff, you know, like with no mistakes and all that. On stage, I use the Series 1-200 head, the Black Star. It's an amazing amp. Sounds really big. It's amazing, you know. It's a great tone. And you know, with the Black Star cabs, 4x12s. Very simple setup, straight into the guitar, like from the guitar into the amp. Effects-wise, I don't use much stuff. I use a couple of pedals only. I'll have like a wah pedal, a chorus pedal, and a little overdrive pedal. I use this BBE Green Screamer, which is just, you know, it's just like you know, just a step on it for the leads to give that little extra compression and sustain that you need. That's all. The guitar, this is what I've been using for the last 7 years probably, or 6 years. ESP made this for me in Japan. and they're great guitars. You know, this is where this this whole shape, this is where the whole signature model idea came from. They made me a custom guitar, and it was great. And yeah, it's basically the specs, the custom specs that you need, and that's what they got in for me. Basically, I was involved with the guitar quite a lot, actually. I mean, I chose the wood and and the neck length and the inlays. You got the flame inlays, obviously. I don't like those super thin necks and stuff. It's it's good. It's a round neck. Not too thick, but not too slim either. One volume control. I never got into the tone thing. Three toggle switch, three-way switch, and well, this guitar actually has active pickups, but when I had passives, I have this little thing here, the switch. It would go from humbucker. It would kind of like a coil splitter. You could get that the single coils, but now that I have the actives, I turn it into a kill switch, so I could do it. I could do that thing. The Seymour Duncan Blackouts. This is the best active pickups ever. I mean, I'm not an active guy. Like I've been playing the Duncan Distortion 59 combination forever, but they turned me on to this one, and it's like amazing because you get kind of like the best of both worlds. You get way more distortion. You get like, and at the same time, it has the passive sensitivities. Like you don't have that one sound. You can actually hear the guitar. You can listen to the wood. Actually, you can hear all the. You can. You know what I mean? And it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's like when with the active pickups, you just kill everything else, but not with this one. I was busy for most part of this year recording Scream album with Ozzy, and then once that got finished, we started going into the promo of it, and then the world tour just started rolling basically. So I've been committed to that, and that's going to take us for the rest of the year. But there will be breaks in between. So during the breaks, Firewind is going to go out, and now that the world tour is rolling, I thought it was a good time to drop the Firewind as well, the Firewind album out. Whereas before it would have just killed it, and we couldn't have done anything with it. So now I'll just take advantage of my off time and do some gigs with the band, and promote that record too. So. It's not as hard as people might think it is, really. I mean, it's all about, getting a good schedule together and, making it work right. And fortunately have good people working with me that can help me to do that, I fly a lot these days, that's for sure, and I would never let Ozzy down, I'm totally committed to this tour. It's the best tour ever, And, but at the same time, it's we're going to be doing some gigs as well with the guys, the Firewind guys. And I know there's a lot of fans out there that want to see us as well. We haven't actually been on the road since 2008, so we did like some few shows last year. So looking forward to bringing the band back to America. So should be cool. All songs are tuned down one whole step. So this would be like D, the whole guitar tune in D. That's the main riff. I wrote the whole song. The verse is not mine. The verse is Bob's. But we write a lot of stuff like that together. Either I'll have the idea and he'll kind of like compensate a little bit, like giving a little bit of his thing in there, or vice versa. He'll bring a song idea and I'll put my riff somewhere. So we kind of like how do you say, complete each other that way. We've been writing together for the last 3 albums like that. But yeah, this is one of my tracks, and with the riffing and all that. So. The mid part is a cool riff. This one though. like this riff. We're kind of like a Testament Slayer vibe into it, you know, like thrash. That's the verse. Yeah, and one guitar has this kind of like you said, like haunting. And then yeah, there's another guitar like kind of like buried under it, and it does the same. And the second time around, when it goes to the pre-chorus again. That resolves into the pre-chorus. Then overbend here. And flat 5. So slow would be like. Yes, it's Phrygian. I want to be able to either pick everything or do legato or combine, and you can't have a change in the volume there or something, you know. That kind of thing, be able to switch between those two. That's a nice chord here. You gotta have all these mutings in there, you know. There's a lot of dynamics actually in this riff, you know, because you kind of like have to do the mute, like you have to palm mute some stuff and then keep, you know, make chord voicings ring correctly. So it's like this. As you know, that's actually a riff where you use all fingers actually, so all over the E minor. Yeah, if you do like, it's not gonna sound good, so I do like. I just play this note all open. I play the first two palm mute in the first two. goes just like. Very like Iron Maiden style, you know? Starts with a pentatonic lick again. Then go down the A minor scale. Short A minor arpeggio here. And then go down like linearly, that's the word. And then I do a noise like this, which leads up to these fourths here. Another pentatonic lick up here. And that takes, right after that, it's actually a A minor string skipping arpeggio lick thing. I think that's what I do. End up on a screaming note here. I think that's the kind of like the good, you know, that's what makes a great solo, so in my opinion at least, or a good solo, solid solo, let's say that. You know, be able to combine melody and technique and stuff like that, you know. And usually these things will come to me whenever it's like in pre-production demo mode, and it'll be like, you know, first or second take. And then if I try to do something else on the record, it will never be as good. So this time I'm like, I'm not gonna do the same mistake again. I'm gonna play whatever I played on the demo. So a lot of the stuff I keep from the demo as it is. I guess it's because when you're making the song and you're feeling inspired and you're like, yeah, you know, when you're first jamming and you're excited that you came up with this, whatever, and you got a cool song going, and then, you know, that excitement, you know, you don't have that stress of, oh, okay, tape's rolling now. You just don't give a fuck, you go for it, you know. So it happened to me many, many times, and whenever I try to be like, oh, I'll make that better on the record, it, you know, just never better, because that vibe is not there, you know. So I'm like, this time I'll keep it as it is. Some stuff I'll keep them as they were originally. It's my hometown's airport. It's the Thessaloniki, the town where I'm from. The capitals of the code for the airport is SKG, and it was my bass player that came up with the idea. It's like, I think Rush had a song, you know, the YYZ, and I think that's Toronto's airport, isn't it? So, yeah, and he was like, we should do a song for our airport. I'm like, all right. So we did that song. I'm like, we don't have any name, let's call it SKG. That's the big mystery behind it. And then there's a little lick here. Ascending to on A minor. There's this middle part actually, this really wide stretched lick in the middle of the song. Somewhere, I think I do. You gotta have really your thumb all the way down here in order to be able to do that wide stretch. And then move up half a step. It's E, E, and B. That's what it is, really, but on an open string. But it's more the rhythmic thing, you know. You have to kind of like Al Di Meola vibe, you know, like. And the next one. It resolves in A minor, basically. But it is, you know, it's that scale again, that E Phrygian scale. But it's not Phrygian major, it's just Phrygian, I think. That's what I do, really. That's what it is.
So that's one of the licks where you trade off with the keyboard?
Yeah, like when we do like, you know, one does little, you know, like kind of like half measure each thing, you know, really quickly. Like question answer kind of thing. I don't know what I was going for. Maybe going for a fucking clarinet sound or something.
That's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah, a little bit. Octave here.